There's the man of the hour. What up, dude?
Oh, not much, man. Just a great
Hey,
Monday. Definitely after
hey,
a night like
hey,
we've had.
like we're always giving each other crap. Was it a pressure packed day today? Like what'd you do? Like just relive the win and just ease it on
Yeah,
in, backed it on into a Monday or what?
yeah, man. We're back on the bicycle, back at the gym. We don't have the luxury like you to just roll out of bed and have the day off and everything like
Hey,
that. Back to the
I
grind, win
keep
or
telling
lose.
you. Hey, you got 3 more Supercross championships to live this life that I live, guy. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm trying to
You
be
got a
like you
couple
guys,
more.
man.
Hey, RV's just as gnarly as I am, dude. That guy, hey, his race bonuses are way more than mine were, so he's in a lot better shape than me, guy.
I don't know, man.
Maybe.
I'm kidding. Coop, thanks for joining RV and I. I know you're always busy with other people doing stuff, and I know you have a busy schedule, and I know you had swim lessons with the little one, which, dude, I don't
Yeah.
know. Do you really go and watch that straight up?
Yeah, man. It's it's dad
Really?
life, as you guys know. You gotta be
Dude.
there, man.
Bro, I go to all that stuff, all the swim lessons, baseball practice, whatever
I
it is. I'm
I'm
there.
fully involved too, but like the swimming lessons was one of the things that got me because
Yeah, it's
I
scary.
called it controlled drowning is what I called it, dude. It's just like there was nothing fun about it the whole time, And these little
Yeah.
infants,
Yeah.
like not
Yeah,
like just
last year
like
we started, and when she was a baby, it was pretty nerve wracking when they threw her in there the first few times. But now she's almost year and a half. She's 2 almost, so she's learning to swim proper, and she loves it now. She can't wait to get in the pool. So it's been fun lately.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
did you like the track this weekend, like from the get go or no?
Yeah, I actually did. I
Did
thought it
you?
was pretty good. I mean, we thought it was all going to be a mutter, which was
Yeah.
nice that it wasn't. Thought layout was good. I think as I rewatched it, definitely a little maybe hard to pass in some spots, but I like the options, especially in the rhythm lanes. There was a lot of different options there. The one before the finish, there was 3 options. I thought the whoops were very raceable. Yeah, I thought the track was a good track. It definitely dried out a lot though. That kind of threw me off guard. When we've raced there before, it's usually softer, a little more ruddy. So when it
Mhm.
was a little dry and slick, it was definitely a little bit off guard. But I thought overall it was good. Longer lap time
Did
too,
did
which is
you
always
ever
nice.
did you ever triple out of that corner like that? Do the 3-3-1 before the finish ever?
Not the main event. No, I never did in the main
Oh, you
event.
did do it though. Oh
Yeah, I
man.
did it in practice. I just the 3 end part, and then
Mhm.
I felt like they changed it a little bit. The face in the night show got a little bit lower, and it was one of those things. Like, man, it was pretty big. I'm not gonna lie, and there was a little bit of room for error if you cased it, and then stuff like that. So I had a game plan, like main event. If I knew Jett and Eli were doing it, and if they were ahead of me, I knew I was gonna have to do it. But luckily, put myself in a position to take the old reliable line.
Yeah,
That's right.
I never liked being put in that position with James. Like, sitting on the line. Yeah, maybe you jump the jump once or twice, 3 times in practice, and then this dude's gonna jump it, and if you do, you have to jump it. I don't.
Yeah,
Do you like being
no,
in? I'm assuming you don't like being in that position.
no, I don't. Jets put us there a few times so far, so
Yeah.
it's obviously it's good for pushing the limits, but like you said, the risk versus reward sometimes, and I haven't rewatched the race yet, so I'm not sure. I saw he did it, there that last lap trying to pass Jason, but I don't think it was a line that he was taking, every single lap. It looked pretty difficult.
It was
Hey,
good. I
yeah.
like the way Dirtworks built it because when you jumped the triple, like when you had to double into the turn, right? It wasn't a double into
Yeah,
the yeah, it was a double into that was a nice big 5-footer. So it really
yeah,
you could see when you did the guys would do the chase did it a few times and was able to close up mid and then you'd hit that the double which
yeah.
would totally blow your speed coming into the turn and then you couldn't make the pass.
Yeah. No, like I said, I thought it was a really good. Like for us, it's usually we're always hitting the same rhythm lines, and it's kind of who can scrub through it the hardest. To where
Mm.
this weekend, those back-to-back rhythms, especially the one with the tabletop lane too, there was options there. Yeah, I really enjoyed the track. I thought it was definitely raceable, and I know on the football floor it's hard with the 90s to make them work, but I felt like even the one this weekend with that outside or having the roller was a good play for sure.
Hey, I was telling RV before we got you on earlier on when we were talking some stuff, and I felt like watching you guys in practice, Coop, that I thought that it had more options, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought it had more options in practice than it did in the race. Is that true? And if so, why do you think?
I think it's tough now with the video that we have and the dartfish. I mean, it's
Totally
crazy. You know, I can know before I even line up for my second practice most of the time what the fastest way around the track is. So it's good and it's bad. You know, I think for me, it's easy if you're not picking up on something, you can watch it and learn. But if you do, if you have something, it's almost one of those things now where I think you kind of need to hold on to it until it matters. And I know, you know, like last year, I remember at Oakland, I had that line that I waited till the main event to do. It was like a quad over the table. And but like I said, Jett does that stuff all the time now, so it makes it tough. But I think that's the biggest thing, right? Is you see the guys that qualify well, and you go, okay, that's faster. Or hey, we can see it now on, especially with the dartfish, when you got the ghost and it pulls away from you, and you can see bike links. You go, okay, you know, there it is. And but yeah, I'm with you. It definitely changed, especially through practice. I thought the lines, like I said, were a little different. Some things were working for other guys, and then as the nighttime came around, I don't know if it just got a little drier or wet, but it seemed like it kind of tightened up with what everyone was doing for sure.
You I was thinking of our conversation yesterday, but like, did you think when you first saw that first rhythm section, like, I don't know if you watched some of the other guys, dude, it was gnarly. Well, number one, your teammate had a gnarly get off. He had a hell of a finish too in the way.
Yeah.
Good job, Justin. Dude, that's to come back from that. He did a great job. But that thing was gnarly, that on off on that first section, bro. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I mean, it's like it was one of those where you're not thinking about it because you're a racer. But when you think back now, at least for me, you know, looking back, we were tripling onto that table on the left side. You know, you case that, it's not going to end well. And then I'm sure you saw, like with Justin's instance, you get in that pocket and you're carrying so much speed, and in a 450 main, the track goes away, they get kickers, and it's, yeah, you can see it right there. Like, there's nothing.
What happened there? Did he say what happened?
No, I think
did it have that gnarly of a transition?
It did and it didn't. I think that's what's tough. Like for us in the heat races, the track is deteriorating, but it's still pretty fresh, and it's like you're fighting that kind of in between stage. At least I felt like I was, because it looks like the track's really nice, and then you're kind of getting into those ruts from maybe earlier in the day, or you know, the soft spots that you can't really see sometimes. So that's why. I mean, I always enjoy the mains because they're rougher and, you know, everything's broken in by then, but you at least, it's more consistent by then. Even if they do some track prep, you kind of know the lines that are coming back. But yeah, it was definitely a tricky section, and it could go bad real quick.
Yeah, it looked gnarly. It looked to me like you just got a little bit of a kick or something. Like, but to your point of like how you jumped on there 3 and on, and that speed into the pocket there, you know, like if you go a little bit long, you know, like bottom the suspension out, things like that, or if the dirt's a bit soft, those can be some scary moments.
Yeah, and little stuff too. Like we were talking, like even just coming around for the first turn, you know, we saw all night, like having a plan for that first rhythm was huge. You know, I saw it especially in the 250 class. The guys would come out and not really know what they were doing, but we talked about like, hey, you need to go on the right side here, because then you can just go on, off, or whatever the case is, to where you could see some of the guys would come into that section, especially when your whole shot device is down, like right here. You're like, what the heck should we do? And that right side seemed to work out pretty well. So just little stuff like that, or even in the heat race, like that same line that you just saw there, you're jumping that into ruts because they haven't fixed it. So you're hitting an on-off with your whole shot device stuck. Like, it's just little stuff like that as a racer and in the moment you don't think of. But now when I watch stuff back, I'm like, dang, man, it's crazy what we're able to honestly get away with sometimes.
Yeah. Cool.
Hey, is your boys still flaming me hard for calling it like, hey, Chase was gonna catch you? I never said pass you. They still giving me the business.
I'm sure, man. You gotta watch what you
I
say.
don't know,
If you're on the
dude.
web wagon, you're on. You're
Dude,
either on or
they
off,
they
baby.
got rid of that that graphic or logo. Aaron, we need to figure out, like, we need to tell the people on the bus to get it back going. But oh, dude, I was telling Coop RV on the way home. It's like, yeah, I was strolling through X and some dude's like, yeah, how about Sexton? You said watch this, he's gonna catch him. Like, that's right. I said he's gonna catch him. I never said he's gonna pass him. So of course,
Yeah,
Coop giving me a hard time for it.
that's
Hey, I
why you're one
wanted
of the
I
best
wanted to ask you.
analysts.
That's right. Hey, I call it like I see it, bro. You might not like it, but I'm honest.
That's all right. At least you're honest. I'll take
I
honesty all
know.
day.
Hey, when you're on the line like that, like you guys are getting ready and you don't have gate work to do anymore outside of picking the stuff, do you watch the 250 guys, like the main events and stuff?
Yeah, I do. I definitely
Do you?
do. And you kind of watch throughout the day, but I like to watch a lot of that stuff, especially like we were alluding to earlier. It changes sometimes in the night show, maybe how they prep something or where the starts are coming from, little stuff like that, maybe some passing opportunities. So I'm
I
usually,
was
yeah,
just curious. I was
I'm
just
locked
curious, like
in.
if it's a good battle, like if it's a good battle, I didn't know if you're like watching it and kind of it distracts you, takes your mind off of stuff, so you're not completely worried about the race that you have to race in.
No,
I was
I
just
like
curious.
it. Like, especially once we're on the gate, it actually makes it kind of nicer because then what
You
kind of
can
sucks for
see.
us is like we watch the beginning of the 250 and then we miss really a lot of it, and then we're down there for the gate. So by the time we get down there, sometimes you don't know what happened. Like for me, I didn't know Fortner crashed at Dallas. You miss some of those key highlights, and you're like, "Whoa, what happened?" Since I've come from the semi to the gate, so I do. I like to watch that, and especially for me, I ride and train with all the Star Racing 250 boys. So like when they do good, feels good. You're even though it's different and separated, like it's kind of cool to see your training partners and buddies do well. So it's cool.
Yeah, totally. I got a question for you, Coop. Obviously we know that Jett had a pretty or a big points gap. Like I personally like your position. How do you see your position right now? Like, tied and not you're the one that's gaining the points and not losing, and we all
Yeah.
know that you're a dog and you've been in this position before. It's very familiar for you. It's got to feel pretty good being in this position.
Oh, it does, man. Especially 21 was way like in my mind it was pretty far at that point, especially when you're racing Jett.
Yeah.
And to be able to kind of bridge that gap in 3 races is huge. Granted, like I said, we had a few gifts, but like I said, and I've been saying and telling the team and telling the guys, like, I've been here and I know at some point over 17, you're going to have adversity, right? And he was able to click off those wins and really get the ball rolling. But as you guys know, even if you're on, you're always going to have something, whether it's a bad start or mechanical or a crash, anything. So I just kind of held on to that, knowing like, hey, I need to take advantage of his bad race. And I was able to do that, the last few weekends. So I think that's huge. And for me, I have always said it's more pressure being behind, right? Because then you have to go and perform. Now that at least we're back tied, it's in this position where, hey, it is mano a mano, but there's still 4 races and you got to put yourself in good position over 4. So I like that. I love the position I'm in. To be in this position is awesome again, and especially after how last year kind of ended for me, it wasn't a great ending. So to be there, and especially against Jett, as we know, he's a generational talent, and kicked everybody's butt in outdoors. So it's good to just be in the fight, and especially this weekend. Like I thought, for me, it was a huge momentum thing. Like whole shot, lead every lap. I actually had the fastest lap in the main, which I was super stoked on. So we're getting where we need to be at the right time, right?
Yeah, totally. No, I think it's a great position to be in.
Do you think, like, do you ever sit back? I mean, or you just completely entrenched in the championship, which is totally understandable. But you're a two-time Supercross champ at the premier level, and do you ever like think what's different outside of jet speed? And you've already talked about his accolades. Like, is there anything different in this championship fight so far compared to your first two that you won? Or
Oh, for
is it
sure.
all hard in its own way?
It's all hard in its own way, but to me, this championship has been completely different. I truly felt, and even last year, like I could have an off night and be third, and I could have a really off night and be fourth, or be fifth.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can't have that. I mean, it's as simple as if you're getting a bad start, you might not even get back into the top five. I feel like that's been the difference this year. I truly feel everyone is on top of their game. I know we always hype that up and we talk about it's the most stacked field and blah 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 blah. But I
It
truly
is.
feel that. I
It
feel
is.
like Kenny's been on a mission this year. I feel like Eli, from his injury, I know he hadn't had the success he wanted, but racing him, I feel like he's the same Eli. I feel like obviously Jett has really stepped it up and made everyone step up. Chase is on it, Jason's on it. I mean, you can go on, and especially earlier in the season when everyone was kind of healthy and really felt like they were in the fight. I mean, it was no joke, and so I think that's what's been the hardest thing about it is there's been nights where I've ridden better than I have maybe all of 2021, and I got in fourth place.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's when you look back at it, that's been the tough thing. And I think when you look at I look at stats a lot and just seeing we're pretty low scoring points overall this year.
Yeah.
And if you look at the big picture, and I truly think that's why, there's been a lot of races where our managing nights are fifths, and that's it can be a big point swing when you have a first to fifth, as you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
Was that like you, RV? Did you ever have a season like that? Like I know for sure I didn't. Like where it was that deep. I mean, Coop, you've watched both of us growing up and all that stuff. I mean, it's no secret. If something fell, we fell down in the first turn. I mean, we're at least going to be on the podium. It
Mm-hmm.
just and it is, dude. It is stacked. All you guys are fast, 100%. That's what myself personally. That's what I feel like is. It's pretty amazing what you have been able to do. Not and the other riders have done a great job, but being in those different championship situations and knowing what it takes, it's been pretty remarkable. But like by RV, have you ever been to where you're in that position or no?
I think I don't think as deep as this. I think the deepest year for me, like I would say getting to a fifth, fourth or fifth. Nothing worse than that. I think it was myself, Dunge, James, Chad. Would have been
Kenny probably 14.
Yeah, it would have been probably the deepest. So four or five guys, and that's kind of I see. Now the difference is, I mean, you have like 12, 13 factory bikes out there, right? And they're all really good riders, Not that they weren't back in the day when I ride.
Nah, you guys are bad dudes. Don't put yourself
No,
in there.
dude, Coop,
But yeah,
I'm so pumped for you. Like, and I know you got a lot of criticism last year, and I don't want to go into a whole bunch of that crap. Just it's no one's business but yours. But I have to ask you this, and I've been curious, and I wanted to save this for when you would bless us with your time to come on this podcast. But did you I know you're one of the most confident dudes mentally out there, and I'll put you up against anyone in the field because of that. Are you surprised at how well you've done this year, or did you expect it to go as well because you had so much confidence in the program? I know you're confident in yourself, but the
yeah.
program in general.
I mean, I envisioned it, honestly. I did, but it is when you look back at a whole, when you do make, and I'm sure it was like you when you made your change from Cowie to Honda and Honda to
Yep.
Suzuki, you have these envisions and these goals and you think you can do it, but it might not go that way, right? And I feel like for me, I was very confident in what I could do, but I was also very confident in this group of people. And I think for me last year, just racing Eli and seeing what I felt like sometimes what the bike could allow him to do, I just felt like, man, that's something that if I was able to get an opportunity there, that I'm going to make the most of it. And so I think for me, that was been a big thing, is just finding that comfort. And, it was something where I won a lot on the KTM too. It was no secret when the new bike came out, I definitely struggled a little bit more than the older platform, but I was also able to win on it. So I think for me, it was just as a whole, you take a big gamble, you take a risk, leaving, established team that I've had a lot of success on to come to a team that I was on in the 250 class. So I did know it, and I knew all the people. So it wasn't as big of a change as maybe like you did, RC, where maybe you don't know the guys. But I mean, to have it pay off and put this position, I mean, to have 4 race wins is awesome. To be at the red plate, like, it's pretty dang awesome. And especially, I did race a few outdoors last year, and just seeing the speed and how freaking good Jett Lawrence is, like, it's definitely a good feeling to be where I'm at, for sure.
Do you feel? I think you guys have stepped up your game. Like, I feel like you and like 4 other guys, and I've said this before on the podcast, and I think I've even said it on the broadcast as well, Coop. Like, I feel like you
Sure.
guys have more to gain and lose, or not more to gain by following a guy. Like, your level, like if Jett was here, you guys have gone here. It's going to be harder
Yeah.
for him to get up there. And it was
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
I was that way with Stu. Like, I think definitely he forced me and Reedy to go faster,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I could feel my speeds get faster,
Yeah. No, and that's where I'm at. And it's cool when I look back, like, I mean, it's pretty badass to say at 28, I'm getting better, and I'm getting faster and I'm getting stronger and stuff like that. So I think it's cool. Like I said, as an athlete, as you guys know, whenever you can progress, it's a great feeling. And that's where I'm at now. I truly feel like I'm riding the best I have probably ever. And the experience is
that's
key,
amazing.
but
RV, isn't that gnarly, RV? Like, you and I, we're just like, we're so fried and over it, like at 27. And then like,
you guys want a lot
he's
more
just,
than me though. Fuck.
hey, you know what? You trust the process, bud.
Yeah, you just gotta trust it, brother.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, like I've said it on the show before, that jealous of guys that made the switches and noticed that they needed to change things up. You were at Star, left Star, went to KTM, and
Yeah.
back. So it's good to be able to see and recognize those things that potentially or will make you better. Because I was in that same position, like just kind of over it, burnt,
Yeah, for sure.
I called it instead of, exercising other options.
Yeah. No, and I think it's like you said, it's tough, right? Because as competitors, you win, and that's the ultimate feeling. And I'd be happy going out on top just like that too. But I do think, like I said, for me, this year has been huge because it has been a huge reset, and it was something that, like, I still, when I wake up in the morning now, I'm excited to go to the track again. I'm excited to go training and switch it up. And I was with you guys, we all did that very good but hard program. And it's just one of those things, like I've said it forever. It was an amazing time. We had amazing results, but I just needed to have a change mentally, physically, because I was at that position too, where you gave it your all, and you just you have one of the 2 options. And I felt like obviously for me, I had a lot of redemption left in me. I didn't go last year and win the championship, so like I said, it's been a great change, and I'm stoked, to be in this position, but also to be enjoying it is very rare, as you guys know.
Yeah,
Hell
totally.
yeah, it is. There's no doubt. Hey, before we let you go, and we appreciate your time, I want you to walk our listeners and people who listen to this podcast and watch it. I want you to walk us through the last lap and and put your helmet on and say, like, okay, I need to do this right. I got to
Yeah.
make sure I do this. Can you do that for us? Because I'm actually curious. Like, when you're in this corner, I'm like, okay, shit, I need to do this right, or I need to get a good exit here. Aaron, Roll that last lap for him, and Coop, as soon as you go, take it away. Go.
Dude, I can't tell too much. You might have comp watching this, but no, I think
No, I know.
for me, you just got to be mindful of where you could get past. And as you saw there, I switched my line and actually made a little bit of a mistake. But I think it's just kind of you're guarding the insides a little bit tighter than maybe you would. I
Yeah.
actually didn't know Chase was doing that line, which when I watched back, that was a good line. He could carry a lot of speed, but I think you're just trying to nail your marks, right? It's like being at the end of a run and just that last 10th of a mile, just giving it your everything. And for me, that's kind of how the last lap is, whether you're out front or behind. You don't want to go over the finish knowing that you didn't give every piece of energy that you could. And then the last turn, I went inside just to make sure that there was no possible way. So I think that's it, just trying to mentally lock in, but just go, all right, this is the last hoorah, give it. If I have to puke over the finish, that's what we got to do, but just giving everything you got.
Dude, how pumped. Hey, you said something on the podium. Like, were you pissed after you got that? You did really well in the whoops the last lap. Were you like, why didn't I do this the whole race? Like, it would have been like the result would have been not easier, but
I mean, it's
sucks
tough.
when that happens. Dude, that sucks so bad when that happens, huh?
Yeah, it does. You live and learn though, and that's where I've always, it's no secret the jumping thing works for me really well, and I was trying it, and I saw the guys catching me, and it's one of those things where you're like, man, I haven't done it yet in the main. Do I switch to it, or do I give up a few tenths to know that I can do this every lap? That was kind of my mindset behind it. But then when I did it, I'm like, damn it, idiot. You should have just skimmed the whole time.
Idiot move. You did idiot move.
Idiot.
You didn't want to change you didn't even want to explore a different line.
I know. I should have trusted. Me and Jeannie's been grinding, and I should have.
I'm glad she's on your tail and not mine, dude. Jeez. Jeez. I'm telling you. Hey, Nashville this weekend. I know you like that place. We can talk about next year, but I'm pumped, obviously, to watch you guys. But dude, I'm stoked for the showdown. We talked about you watching the 250s earlier. Like, are you pumped? Are you pumped to see
am, man. It's always cool. Even as a racer, as a fan, I think it's cool because, as you guys know, in the 450 class, you get a shootout every weekend. But the 250 guys, they're young, they're fired up, they want to be, the bad boys. They want to have that bragging rights. So I think it'll be a really good show, especially with the personalities we have in the 250 class and the riders. I think it'll be actually a really sweet race, and with points being where they're at, it could be a very good night for some people for sure.
Yeah, you were one of those guys who came down to East-West shootout, and you'd come and be a wrecking ball in there.
Yeah. young and dumb and just cocky,
Yeah,
that's right. Nothing wrong with it. Hey, if everything goes as you're hoping it, you need my Venmo so I can send you my cocktail tab for the weekend in Nashville, or what? Just Venmo me.
Come on, guy.
I'm joking with you, dude.
That's the luxury you have. Like you said, you get to sit back in Nashville and
kick
your feet up.
RV's wore out from being at MotoGP. He's got his restrictor plate on today. Trust me, this guy's got it better than this guy's got.
Hey, Austin will get you. Austin will get you, man.
I can see he's been muffled today. And so, hey, great job this year. Thanks for coming on, dude. I know how precious how precious your time is, and days off, and the championship grind, and I'm sure our viewers and listeners will really enjoy your insight and just our candidness today. And appreciate it, buddy. Good luck in Nashville.
No worries, guys. Appreciate it, and always fun talking. And see ya around Tally, RC.
Yeah, guy. If you need, hey, everywhere I go now, you're like the mayor of the town. They're like, dude, who's that Cooper Webb guy? Who's this Cooper Webb guy?
I walk into the restaurants, you got your gold chair, your red carpet.
No, this guy.
The goat sighting everywhere.
Oh, come on. Dude, everywhere I go now, RV, they're like, hey, you know that guy Cooper Webb? He lives here now. I'm like, yeah, I know him. Dude, the guy is unbelievable.
Hey, I still get your hand-me-downs though. Everyone asks me, "Oh, do you train at Ricky's?" Yeah, I do.
Roots run deep. Roots run deep and tally,
Yeah,
bro. All
appreciate
right,
it, guys.
Coop. Get back to it, brothers. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Coop.
Hi, folks. Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.